get out there. They really want to see that door get straightened up. Oh, man. Oh, gosh, it's going to be cold. God, all right, I'll do it. On the front door, went with this fiberglass door. It's called a 9 light, and the rest of the door is a fiberglass skin. So it's a hollow door with insulation in it, basically. And then for the porch door, I grabbed this. This is actually a steel door, and it's a 15 light, so it's just a French door, 32 inches. So it's a rough opening of 34¼ inches according to the door by 82 inches tall. So that's what we'll be reframing that opening to. I went with 32 versus 36 for the scale of that side porch. How big a 36-inch door would look odd to me. Plus the door that goes into the kitchen off the porch is 32 as well. So there was no advantage in going wider, really. And I thought this would look more appropriate. So this is an insulated window, of course, in there. And then once all the rest of the insulation goes in there and it's heated and electric and blah, 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 it'll be a very comfortable space. I ended up tearing the framing completely out of this wall, so I'm just going to reframe it all up, put a header in and do it all. Even if this wall is not all that load bearing, it'll at least look good for the inspectors, and it's just a quick, easy way to frame it. I have 2x4s, but I don't have one tall enough over here. So over here I've got some extra stuff reclaimed from the house. I have a 2x6, it's plenty long. I'll rip a 2x4 out of that and then go ahead and frame this wall out. I'd like to take a minute to thank Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Through sponsorships like theirs, I'm able to make and post videos more often. Skillshare is an online learning community for creative and curious people. They literally have thousands of classes to help you develop new skills and explore existing interests. If you're like me and everyone else, you can very easily get that what do I do next feeling. They've got a lot of classes on productivity, and this can help you structure your time and set achievable goals that you can work towards. That is the direction that I went in this video, taking a class from Thomas Frank. What I personally think Skillshare has done best is they created a platform around the idea of community. Through taking their classes, you're not simply sitting there staring at a computer, watching something and not being able to interact with it. You're able to communicate with those teachers and the other people taking those classes. So this can be very encouraging, and you can also just draw inspiration from those people in helping you achieve your goals. The first 1,000 people to use the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium membership, and after that, it's only about $10 a month. Many of you have requested tips and tricks along the way, so I'll share a few about doing this rough opening on an unlevel floor. So all of the framing was ripped out, then I reframed the rough opening. And the floor is sloped down this direction, so it's lower in this corner. Across the doorway from here to here, there's about a 3/4 inch difference. So it's probably about 1.5 inches to this corner. Now, I don't know if it extends all the way over here. If there's a little twist, it dips down here. But we're leveled this way. So the outside studs, I think they're called king studs. I don't really know all the names of all the different studs due to their placement. So I'm just going to point at things and say this one basically. So the outside stud here, that runs up. And then this one runs up. All I did on those is just measured up to that angled top plate. But when it comes to these are what establishes whether or not the header is level. So this one, let me put it this way. The bottom of a header is supposed to be 82 inches from the bottom to the floor, but we're sloped here. So if I cut this stud the same length as this stud, I'm going to put the same angle in that header as the floor angle is. So all you do is find which corner is the highest and start with that one. You got 1.5 inches for the bottom plate, so that makes this stud 80.5 inches to a total of 82 inches. Then you lay a level on top of this corner and then make a mark over here, and you can see where I did that in that process. So then after that, you measure from your mark all the way down to the top of your bottom plate there. And in my case, it came out about 3/4 inch longer. So that is how you get a level header there. And why is that important? Because if you assume everything is square and your floor is level and you go really tight, you may find that this side or whatever side dives down and it makes your opening too tight to work with. Technically speaking, it doesn't really make any difference structurally or anything like that because all this is kind of hidden. And a little angle is not going to make anything. This is level to a 4-foot level that I bought at Lowe's for an inexpensive price. It's not NASA level, but we're looking at close enough. But where it will make a difference is whether or not you make your openings too tight. So that's where you may have to do a trick like this. For the floor being out of level, I don't want to do that because what will happen is the threshold on the bottom of the door would sit tight here, and then if it sat tight here, that means it would kind of rack the whole door, and then the actual door that goes into the frame would not close in it evenly, the reveal around it. It just wouldn't work out right. It would be out of alignment with the strike plate and everything. So it needs to be shimmed out higher over here than it is here. Basically, I need a wedge that goes from 3/4 inch down to 0. And for that, you just lay your level, corner of your level here, come across, get your bubble right, and then make a mark there. Then measure down, or just make your wedge go up to the bottom of that mark, and then that will get you close enough. Well, that wraps up all the working portion of this video. I will now ramble about what I have done and will do next. So this is just a builder-grade door from Lowe's, $300. Used the same trim on it, but just filled in around it to the aluminum siding with a 1-inch strip of wood ripped from a 2x4. Below the door, you can see it looks a little unfinished. I'm pondering what I'll do next with some sort of stoop and steps, or leave it as is, but I'm leaning towards stoop and steps. Let's step inside and consider what is going to happen next. So just a comment on doors in general. See how nice and easily that door swung open, and then once it is put in place, just how nice it will work with the strike plates and all that, because it was installed easily because it was a brand new door versus working with an old door. Basically, when you can afford it, I am pro installing new doors and windows just because of the functionality. They look so clean. It just really makes a place, especially a renovation that's getting the overall. If you renovate a whole house, leave in all of the old doors and all the old windows, a lot of times it can look rather junky. Not junky, it looks like a house that was renovated and certain things weren't done, versus a brand new house oftentimes after it's been renovated, functionally speaking at least, and most of the time also cosmetically. So walking into the kitchen, earlier I did this and turned around and was just very pleased with the looks of things. So you have to use your imagination now. Mine is vivid. Imagine this room completely cleaned up. Nice walls, nice windows, lighting, whatever the floor is, etc. I think it's going to look great in here. One may ask, why not put one of these on the front door? I just don't think it would have been right for the front door. You know, you can put blinds on these doors, but I just like the other door on the front more. You know, that's about as much as I can say about it. Let's talk about some of the things that will happen next. I think probably the next video I'll be either in this room working on the porch or building that stoop out there. Not sure yet, but one of my biggest thoughts, and I may have said all this in the beginning of the video, but I'll say it again, thinking about ripping all this siding off. Behind that is just sheathing, and then drywalling the whole porch, because this is going to be a nice new finished, you know, living type space. It's not going to just be some cold porch you throw your trash out here where raccoons wouldn't tear it up. There's going to be a nice floor, nice walls, insulated doors and windows, lighting. You know, it's going to be fully insulated, the walls that is. And so I don't want this to be, I don't know what the right way to say it is. The siding is interesting, yes, it kind of references the house, but you know, if it's not there, it's not like the person that's going to see it for the first time is going to miss it. And I think it'll just be much cleaner just to have everything drywalled. Behind this OSB is a window, so that is a big window, goes from like all the way up here down to here. My thoughts were just to, when I had all the replacement windows put in the house, like all these and everywhere else, just have one of those windows put there. That may seem odd. Why do that? Well, it's an easy way to get a window there that would divide the living room into this space. It could just be left open. You could put a French door there, but I don't want to interfere with the available space in this room with a door swinging into either room. It doesn't really matter. It's still going to occupy that space as a doorway, and to put a window there, if someone's in there watching TV or just sitting in there doing whatever, and you want to sit out here and do whatever you're doing, you're in separate spaces versus just kind of trimming out the open and just having it be open, you know, which would be kind of interesting. I think maybe if it was your personal home and that's what you wanted, but thinking more generically of what most people would want, I think it's just better just to separate the spaces. That's the way it was done on my house, because I renovated my house first, had the windows put in, and then later closed in the porch. And I have a window in there like that, and I like it. You can always open it up and have those spaces be kind of connected, but you can also close it, sit down, close the equivalent door on my house like this door here, and it's you're in your own room, but at the same time you are still in the house, not, you know, tucked away in some bedroom. You can have seating and chairs and lamps, and you could come out here and work, for example, or just take it easy. I, of course, am open to suggestions. So here's the overall space. So you can think about what would be nice out here and let me know. And if I'm not too far along, I may be able to humor some of those ideas. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video, because it's over now, except for me talking, so that means it's probably over for many people that don't enjoy hearing the talking. But I like to give these warnings, I think, for now on, just where people can kind of roll out if they're not interested in this part of the video. With the interior of the porch, I'm just one person. I get overwhelmed with these projects and just kind of wish they were over, and I'm definitely in that phase now. So let me know what y'all think about that interior. I've kind of... it's one of those things where I'm just kind of over it. I wish badly I could just snap my fingers and it'd be done. I don't even want to think about it. So y'all's opinion could be appreciated, and just kind of taking the thought out of it. Whether just to leave the siding that's up there and drywall the rest, or do something different, or just do all new drywall in there. To me, that seems like the simplest and the cleanest look, and it will sort of flow with the rest of the house. Of course, that's just my idea and my reasons for doing it. Let me know what y'all think. Also, the window in there, what type of flooring to go with, all that type of stuff. Any thoughts you may have that would make that a better space without going too far. Many people were asking, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? The month that I was missing here on this channel before I posted that last video a week and a half ago, or 2 weeks ago for y'all. I did a video over the course of an entire month showing exactly what I was doing that whole time. It is not exactly what I do here on this channel, but I do think many of you, if you enjoy the projects you see me work on, will enjoy it. So go over there and check it out. That channel was the first channel I started, much smaller channel than this one, so the views of those are smaller, so I would love to have my passionate homemade home crew go over there and kind of revive that channel back up to its once glorious numbers. Regardless, I just have fun doing that kind of stuff. Making videos is fun, so I don't mind, but I do think y'all would like it, and it is sort of a sneak peek into many projects to come. And the big cool thing that I bought that I show in that video, it is sort of the one of the biggest reasons that I do all the stuff that I do. It's more of a lifestyle that I want to live, and this was a big part of it, sort of setting that lifestyle up through getting into real estate, and then these videos just sort of developed out of it because I was already doing it over there, so check that out. The link, and I may even post the video right on the screen, but the link will be down below. For everyone that is asking about buying cheap houses, I'm always getting that new crowd of people here on the channel. You can check out my ebook. That ebook is basically just all the answers I've given people hundreds of times in emails, big, long, hour-to-write emails. I just kind of took all those emails, organized them into an ebook, and then added my personal stories into it, how I've done things, and then some new things that I've kind of learned along the way, compiled it into something that I think is a really good source for somebody who just wants to quickly read something and jump right on it. You can go read the Amazon reviews if you want to kind of see what other people have thought. The few reviews on there that are bad, I think those people kind of lost track of the reason that the book was written. The book is written to be a quick thing, tell you just what you need to know to get started. It doesn't tell you how to get the money to buy a house. It doesn't tell you how to renovate a house. It tells you how to find these really cheap houses that you see me buying. And no matter what people think, you can buy cheap houses anywhere you live. They just might not be as cheap as they are in one place as they are in another, but it's all kind of in proportion most of the time outside of a few very expensive places. For example, not on that, but just that you can apply this. I had someone just today, this is someone I know personally in an area that I'm familiar with, but just not here. The house for sale for $35,000 in a place that there is no such thing as a house of any condition that's livable under $150,000. And this was just posted on the internet for sale. It wasn't even some sneaky, talking your way into something and some sort of crazy deal with some wild story. It's just right there on the internet, $35,000 in need of a full renovation. So you'd probably have $40,000 to $50,000 tied up in this place by the time you're done. But an incredible deal in that area, and it'll rent for probably 2 or 3 times as much as this house rents for, but the end price difference is maybe $10,000 or $15,000, in the end price, how much you would have invested in it. So
it's a better deal, even though he would be paying more if he bought that house. So that's the type of thing to think about. Don't get so narrow-minded to think that if you can't buy a house for $9,000 in my city, it's over. You know, it's definitely over if you think that. So that's it on the book topic. Check it out. Links will all be in the description below, as well as the link to Skillshare, the sponsor of the video. Thank you to them again for sponsoring this video and the other videos in the past. And I appreciate you all as viewers supporting the people who support these videos as well. So thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Again, check all the links for all the stuff I just talked about. See ya.